Alrighty. It's a new day. Hey guys, this is Roy back again. I want to give a shout out to Terry Woodrow for recommending I do something with the spark gap. That was a lot of light radiation emitting into my eyeballs and everything else. So I've decided to take this quarter-inch iron, almost square tubing, and build me a spark gap Faraday cage that'll capture the radiation, and we can either collect it and put it into a capacitor, or we can collect it and put it to ground. Yet to be determined. We have some experimenting to do with this. You can see inside I got two gaps and two inlet and outlet. I haven't fired it up yet. This is my air going into it. Let's look inside of it, and we'll look and see if we can see the gap. There's another gap right there. Okay, and that's adjustable. And then there's a gap right there. That's the in part, and that's the out part, and there's another gap right there. So basically we're dealing with 1, 2, 3 gaps. I know there's multiple gaps and some other things, so I figure I'd mix it up a little bit. So this should capture the radiation. I'm going to make some modifications later on today after work, and that'll have this part here on this gap will be adjustable. I'll put a wooden handle on it so I could go closer or away from it, and that will be like the gas pedal for the Tesla coil here. And also we have a capacitor. We're coming out of the bottom of the secondary to the capacitor, out of the capacitor to a resistor wire coming down to earth ground. Okay, same thing with the radiation collector. The strike rail goes into a thin wire, then it comes into a 14 gauge wire and comes into earth ground as well. This right here, later on I'll experiment after I put the adjustable handle on it. I'll experiment if taking a wire to the casing and send it to ground will interfere with the energy running through the gap. I don't think it will, but it may. Or do we want to collect that and put it in a capacitor and create a directed capacitance out of that wasted radiation energy? We'll check that out. Let's put the air back into my tube. Like I said, we got some more modifications and some adjustments, but that should slow down the radiation coming out, and that iron's a great absorber. And if I had that connected to ground, I guess it would disperse that energy and not let it go out in the room so much. Also, what I wanted to talk to you guys was real briefly on, I've been doing a lot of reading on Einstein and adding him to what I've learned already. I like to talk about space and counter space, and get into possibly making a put the primary in the middle, turn it horizontal, make it as a bipolar Tesla coil, direct the positive and negative coming out of the two sides to its own capacitance in two plates somewhere else on the table. And in that capacitance, I like to sort of make two plates and kind of see if we could tap into a frequency. And also, it's about pressure, and if we can have the right amount of pressure that's needed to tap into the ground to provide enough um, capacitance, tap in the ground's capacitance to get into the dielectric side of things here. And what I mean is, if you have a galaxy It's like a disc, but standing up vertically. And you have another galaxy next to it, and you have these disc after disc after disc after disc. Sort of like looking, if you're looking with a mirror in front of you and a mirror behind you, and you get in the middle, you can see yourself infinitely keep going and going and going and going and going. So if you look at two galaxies and then galaxy, 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 galaxy would be the same as looking at yourself. So it's infinite. So when you look in your mirror at that point and you make a movement, everything moves, but it takes time for the last one to. There's a little lag there. For the last one, you're looking at an infinite of mirrors that's dragged out, and I think that time frame of the one cycle of all the galaxies together adds to the dielectric, which I believe is in the ether, and it's a constant pressure in space itself. So when you start putting matter and an energy source like a dynamo, like a sun, in place, each galaxy will have its own. I don't know what word to use, but its own rhythmic section of the chord of, say, a guitar. You know, where you pluck the guitar string, it will be a different frequency with a different sound, and that's how the disc line up. Nothing enough. Sorry to take up your time, guys. Hope you leave your comments. Let's turn some lights off and fire up the sucker. I haven't fired it up yet. I don't even know if it's going to put a spark out. It may not even work. Let's turn these lights out. Definitely leave your comments, and thank you for watching. Let's go ahead and turn on the fan. So we got good air coming out of the side. Okay. And let's go ahead and woo! I don't know what that was, but I just seen like lightning come out of the bottom of this. I think the secondary might have got up a little high. I don't know what's going on in here. Something's going on where it could be because my bottles are leaning, but I got a lot of breakout in the bottom of the 5-gallon bucket, and that can't be helping. But let's fire it up one more time. All right. Obviously, I'm having some capacitor issues, but anyway, it looks beautiful in there. It's I don't feel anything coming out. That's, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Got to experiment with this, but it should be collected. Leave your comments, guys.